And welcome to Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, Double A, back for another spectacular episode of the pod. We have a really cool episode in store tonight, man. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. As you can see, we got my guests already standing by. Before we get to my brother here, we are on, don't forget to subscribe to Profile Pod TV on YouTube. Click on that purple logo there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll be golden. Follow me on Instagram, Clubhouse, Twitter, all that good stuff. It's all Profile Pod TV. Shoot me a rate and review, ladies and gentlemen, on Apple Podcasts. And, you know, we're all over. We're on Roku, Spotify, everything, right? And don't forget about Social Nostra. We are on Social Nostra, the podcast network that is so endearing to everyone because we have a little bit of everything, everything from lifestyle, sports, golf, celebrity to influencers, and just a little bit of everything for everyone. So check out the Social Nostra network on Instagram and Roku, YouTube, whatever, man, whatever social media platform you want to look at. So like I said, man, we got a great one in store tonight. I'm in a great mood right now, not only because of my guests, but also because the Dodgers just pulled one out of their ass. So that's always a good thing. Lakers are playing, and it's a good Tuesday night, man. So let's get to our guest here of the evening, man. This gentleman is doing a lot of things. He comes out of the East Coast, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, the Garden State. And like I said, man, I've been chomping at the bit, waiting for this one to come along because I want to pick his brain. I really admire what he does. He's a podcaster. He's an influencer, and it's always fun to talk to other podcasters, man, because you want to know what they're doing, especially when what they're doing is really intriguing and amazing. So I definitely want to know what he's doing, man, and I want to reach into his bag of tricks, if you will. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the MCM podcast, Monmouth County, New Jersey, my man Max Sobrano. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, thank you for having me on, Andy.
Oh man, are you kidding me? Thank you for being here, man. I know you're in New Jersey. How's it going out there today, man, in the Great Garden State?
It's cold. I'm not gonna lie. It's okay, I'm saying it's cold. People up in like Wisconsin are probably making fun of me if they're listening. It's like 50s right now, and I'm like, I hate this.
Oh shit. It's 50s right now, really?
Yeah, it's like 50 degrees out. What temperature is it over there?
I want to say today it was between 75 and 80 at the most,
Nice.
It was nice. It was pleasant. And yeah, man, no doubt. You guys get the cold. You're starting to get that chilly weather coming in. Yeah, man. Hey, thanks so much for being here, taking the time, brother. And like I said, man, I really admire what you do. Love your podcast. Love the guests you bring on. Your style is really, intriguing. And yeah, man, I just want to, like I said, I want to pick your brain and see what the hell you're doing, bro, because it's really good, man.
Yeah, so I basically started, of course, you know what memes are. I started out as making a meme page in New Jersey because there's a big one for like New Jersey memes, but I thought my county needed one. It kind of took off. We just surpassed 41,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I was able to start this podcast where I'm able to speak to influencers out of New Jersey, and having the big following from my social media page allowed me to reach out to bigger guests, reach out to business owners. And you probably know it's very hard to start a podcast from zero, like starting from nothing. So the fact that I was able to piggyback off of my other brand, it helped me gain a little bit of a following. And man, it's just been the best thing. I'm so proud that I've done it, for the past 2 years.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I see the numbers, man. I see there's no secret about that, man. And you have really cool guests on, man. Like everything we were talking earlier, man, like Duke Gomez and really cool influencers, TikTok, Instagram. You had entrepreneurs like Eat Clean Bro, Bob's Pizza Tour, all these guys, man. They're really cool. El Toro, Ryan. And just really successful people, man. And is there a particular type of do you mainly shoot for influencers, Max, or do you kind of or does that kind of or do you kind of like to mix it up, a little bit of everything, man, or do you have a preference?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I think my favorite ones, I'm a business guy. I went to business school. I got my MBA. So I think my favorite ones are the ones that combine social media and business, because that's what always has intrigued me. So like the Eat Clean Bro, the one you're talking about, just a Monmouth County guy who started kind of a service where, it's food prepared already, prepared food, but you buy it and it gets shipped to you each week. And something like that, man, he started like 10 years ago. Now it's like a $50 million company. He's an everyday guy. And it's just such a cool thing. That's why the entrepreneurs, I really respect the Ply Bowls guy, who I think they're actually going out to the West Coast, but it's like Pattaya Bowls and Acai. That's
Mm.
another one. It's just as blown up. So those are probably my favorite, although some of the influencers are really funny. So like those ones I know are going to be good too.
Yeah, I was watching Eat Clean Bros episode. I don't want to butcher his last name. Giovanazzo.
Giovanazzo, good. A
Oh, I
lot of
got
people
it.
do. You didn't. Congrats.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. That guy, man. I liked what he was saying because he was just like, man, people were telling him, "Oh, don't name your business that. What are you doing? What are you thinking?" And he's like, "No, man. I'm gonna keep it real. This is me. I'm gonna be me, who I am. And if you don't like it, tough, man. And I'm not gonna change who I am just to, for a business. No, I'm gonna keep it real 100%.
Yeah,
And
my
yeah,
producer Justin, I don't think I've ever, maybe I showed him sometimes in the videos, but usually I look at him when I'm recording about like the time, and I'm like always like looking at Justin, like how's it going? But that was one of my longest podcasts I've ever done with Jamie, and the subject never got soft, and like it kept going. It was so riveting, and like Justin, I kept looking at him. He was like, man, he just said kept going, and it was so
mm,
good. Editing it was a pain. That was horrible because it was so long, but it was such a good conversation. I was just thoroughly like, this guy is a role model of mine. So
absolutely, man. No, I see why, man. And with your studio, Max, particular and specifically, man, your setup. Talk a little bit about your studio setup, man, because you got your two chairs there. You sit next to your guest. You'll hold the microphones.
yeah.
I noticed that your guest will hold the mic. You hold your mic. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind all of that. What you're trying to capture visually and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, it didn't start like that. 2 years ago, the one thing I always say is I've made so many mistakes, and I've learned so much in podcasts. I'm sure you have, where every day you learn something new. And whether it's audio issue, video issue, but I used to basically have a list of questions that I would ask every one of them to the person I'm interviewing, and then it felt so robotic. The other thing was I used to not hold the mics. When I got to my new studio, which is basically just I got a new house that I moved in on, and a few of my roommates, I'm like, hey guys, listen, I'm going to be shooting a podcast here. So I literally set up part of my living room on the side as the studio, and I've learned things like at first it didn't look that good because I didn't set up the camera beforehand when I was shooting. So basically, it didn't look that good. Then, like after a few times of doing that in my new house, I basically set up the camera and set up the studio for how it looks in the shot. And that was
Mm.
another thing I learned, is that don't just set up your studio, set it up for how it's going to look to the viewers. And I
Oh,
put a lot of my favorite posts I made on Monmouth County memes, some of my highest ranked ones, just some jokes, obviously like Rutgers University sent me a flag that was back there. But yeah,
yeah.
I love the ability to sit on the couch, hold the microphone, and it be a chill conversation where I might have 5 or 6 things I want to get to, but who knows, I might not get to that. Like I just like to see where it goes with them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the vibe, man. You guys are just you're two guys chilling, two guests or two individuals chilling, the host and the guest. And yeah, you're holding the mic, man. You got the nice visuals, the lighting's great. And you guys are just chilling. We're just flies on the wall watching the conversation, man. And no, everything that you do is really, really cool, man. And it's really intriguing and it's funny. And I love everything that you're doing, man. And how long have you been doing the podcast now, Max? When did you start it?
Yeah, so I think it started, um it's going to be going on 2 years in like December, January. And I have to give props to my I guess retired co-host. I'm not gonna say ex, retired. He actually got a job in the city doing finance. So he's definitely choosing to make a lot of money over this. So I'm like, dude, fine, do that. Also, there wouldn't be enough room in my living room to have two hosts. But he really gave me the confidence to get back in front of the camera, because I've always made YouTube videos before, but he kind of regave me the confidence to do it. And it was 2 years ago I started. My first guest was actually New Jersey Memes, who she has like 300K on Instagram now. She blew up. Wow. And it just kept going from there. And then unfortunately the pandemic happened. And so like after our first 5 episodes, we literally had to go virtual, and that just threw everything in the loop. And then, you know, we went to a professional studio, which I was out of for a while, but I decided to just, because I was paying rent at my apartment or my house, I was like, why not just save money on the professional studio? I have my camera, I have my mic. So yeah. And I'm like, I've done 35 guests so far.
35, going back to 2 years, huh? Yeah. Yeah. What has been, you know, some of the, you know, obviously we all have challenges, any road bumps you could mention that you know, throughout those 2 years that you kind of, you know, it had to endure, unfortunately. You know, we all have, as podcasters, we all have those. And maybe one notable one that you kind of had to overcome, man. And you look back now and you kind of say, damn, okay. You laugh about it or whatever.
I think it probably was just getting, like, I guess my big one was getting used to being on camera again. That was definitely scary. I mean, now people, you know, I'm doing these interviews, and like I generally have this charismatic nature about myself where I'm able to talk to people, but if you don't do it for a while, you kind of lose it. So in the beginning of the podcast, I would be talking softly. I wouldn't be like so into it. I would be a very robotic, but as you know, you keep doing this all the time, and eventually you know, you're never going to completely get rid of mistakes, because even towards the end, I'll be like, crap, I did something wrong. But, you know, there's things you could do. Like I got the Sony A6400 is an awesome camera because it doesn't have a recording limit as a DSLR. So you could just go till your memory card maxes out. But what we used to have to do is I used to have like a Sony A7R, and after 30 minutes, it would stop recording. So we would have to mentally right there have a timer after 30, because you know you're in the middle of a conversation and God forbid you forget about it, the camera stopped recording. You know, so the Sony A6400 just records on forever. I have a producer who kind of sits there and watches the camera. The audio I generally listen to myself. But yeah, definitely just the confidence was the big thing with me, and I kind of got that after a while. And looking at my first episodes, I hate watching those because I know I wasn't that good. And so.
Tell me about it, man. Yeah, I look back at some of the episodes even, gosh, a few months back, you know, and I'm still like, I cringe. I'm like, gosh, what the, you know, so, but yeah, man, it feels like, damn, I've come a long way, you know, it really does, man. Tell us a little bit about, you know, we were talking earlier about the Crocs, man. The significance behind the Crocs. You wear them on the podcast. They're yellow. Talk about the Crocs, man.
Well, you know, I'm one of those people that, like, one of my favorite quotes from Blake Griffin. I was just watching. Blake Griffin said, "I'm not a flashy guy, but I like to be flashy." Like, I always like, especially with something that people have some sort of stigma against. You know, I wear them. I like wearing them. So I got yellow. I'm like, if I'm going to wear Crocs, I'm not just going to get like blue. I'm not just going to get white. Let me get yellow. Like you cannot miss it. So yeah, and I wear those around, and either people love them, like people, you'll get the best reviews, or most of my friends just make fun of me for it. They're like, no, please don't wear those, like whatever. And I don't wear them to like nice places, but I'll wear them to do errands. You know, like I said, traveling a lot, like they're such easy to slip on and off. So especially for plane rides in the airports, like walking around, they're the perfect thing.
Can we get a shot of those by any chance? Are you wearing them right now?
Yeah, no, I'm wearing them. Let me see. I love to see them. Let me point them up here.
There they are.
Yeah,
I love it.
This it has like Pokemon and stuff on this. So I'm a Pokemon fan.
Sweet, man. Hey, and it goes, it fits your podcast colors, man. The yellow.
It is. So that's, I got a flag made back there because one of my followers, it was like his birthday, and he was like, he's one of my like best followers. I listen, 41,000 people, but this guy like shares my stuff all the time. He sends in videos, like funny stuff. And he asked me one day, he's like, man, have you ever made like MCM flags? And I said, no, man. He's like, oh, dude, I want to buy one, whatever. And then literally, I just like made one, and I was like planning on selling it, but I saw it was his birthday one day. So I literally paid for it. And I said, man, like, listen, what's your address? I'm just going to send this to you. He's like, no, dude, I'll pay. I literally just sent it to him. So I bought another one for myself. And it's better than just looking at my made bed back here. So yeah, that's it behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. Really, I can see why you have some really dedicated followers, man, loyal followers. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what it's
New
all.
Jersey people, we love our state. That's mostly the pages. When you write stuff, I mean, especially I've gone to like wars with other states like Pennsylvania, Vermont, and New Jersey people, like, we could make fun of our own state, but we don't like when someone else does.
And I've seen a lot of those memes and those videos that you post making fun of New Jersey, or
Yeah.
if you're from New Jersey, you do this or whatever. Those are great, man. Those are great. Yeah. Speaking of New Jersey, man, I mean, you were born and raised there, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey, Monmouth County, and yeah, I can tell you're very proud of New Jersey, and just like you mentioned, man. And most of your guests are from New Jersey, correct?
They're pretty much all from New Jersey. I'm trying to think if any are New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I mean, some of them might live in New York, like Gabby Bryan. She's like a successful comedian. If you know Bon Jovi, the band, John Bon Jovi, her dad is David Bryan, who's the keyboardist. So that was like really telling me. And she's like, oh, I grew up on tour with them. I was like, oh my God, it's the coolest thing. Right. Cool, also a lot of money in that family. But, yeah, she lives in New York. Like a lot of people, I mean, especially around here in New Jersey, like if you want to make money and be in showbiz, like, even finance or whatever, you're going to New York. So, that's a lot of people's goals to go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, New Jersey, man, I mean, you just go down the list of notable individuals, celebrities, and successful people, man. It's incredible, man. What is it about New Jersey? Why is it such a hotbed, man, for successful people? I mean, and every, industry, every facet of life, man, music, sports, business, art, down the line, man, Frank Sinatra, Redman, Naughty by Nature. You just mentioned Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that he's from New Jersey. And, Meryl Streep, I think, was from New Jersey, right? What is it about that, man? Any significance there, Max? I mean, anything? Can you put your finger on anything like that, man? About New Jersey?
I really don't know. I'm not sure. And they're all from all over New Jersey, north, south, of course, central. I don't know. I just think that like New Jersey has a lot of hardworking people, and it's they're funny as well. Like some of the funniest people that I say that I've met, like obviously there's funny influencers, but some of my friends who like they're not even online, they don't even have a social presence, but they have this energy about them where I'm like, oh my God, if this kid ever knew what like TikTok was, he'd be famous. But I don't know, it's just something about our state and how we're run. I mean, most people in our area, they live like a fast-paced life. That they always say that about the East Coast and like New York City, New Jersey. We all have places to go. We don't want anyone to freaking waste our time.
Yeah.
And we just want to get to where we want to be.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Because out here, Hollywood's nearby, right? And I think California is just populated as all hell, anyways. So I think naturally you're gonna have a lot of people who are in all many successful people in many facets of life, but yeah, no, that's interesting about New Jersey, man. And it's really cool when you go down, you look at that list of people from New Jersey, man. You're like, whoa, man. Another guy, Oral Hershiser, ex-Dodger great. Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And
South Jersey. Yeah. I mean, Mike Trout, if you like baseball, I mean, he's a South Jersey guy as well. Incredible. So
yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool, man. But it's cool. I like how you definitely represent your state and where you're from, and I always have a lot of respect for anybody who does that, man. And you root for your hometown teams, and it's do or die, and there's no compromise.
Have you? I haven't really met any famous people that I think in New Jersey. Have you met any famous people out in LA?
You know what? You would think you'd run into a bunch,
They always say that,
uh,
like, oh, you go to LA for the first time, you're like, oh, that's Justin Bieber.
yeah, exactly, man. No, I've honestly, I've never run into anyone famous. I've actually, I don't know if you know. Speaking of Mike Trout, his old manager, baseball manager, Mike Scioscia,
Okay.
he actually lives in my area.
Wow.
Yeah, he was actually. I saw him at the grocery store one time.
Wow.
Yeah, just randomly. And but other than that, man, my whole life I grew up out here, and no, man, I've never run into anybody famous. You know, off the top of my head, I'm thinking no, maybe at Disneyland I remember seeing. I don't know if you're familiar with the comedian Ari Spears. He's pretty good. He was on Mad TV back in the
Okay.
day. He's pretty good. He's been on. He's out there. He's pretty notable. But yeah, you would think so, man. But not me, bro. Not me. But
Well, I
it's
always see
all.
that. I always hated it. There's some people that they always run into someone like, they're on an airplane and, they're sitting next to a celebrity. And I'm like, I have the worst luck ever. That would never be me.
Yeah, you hear about stuff too, like that at the airport. I saw
Yeah.
another New Jersey guy. I actually did see him. Now his stuff's coming back to me now, man.
Good.
Carl Lewis, the sprinter, New Jersey guy,
Yeah. Wow.
right?
What, in the
Yeah,
airport?
I saw him at the airport. This was like 15 years ago now, man.
Oh, wow.
Los Angeles International, LAX, and hey, I say, oh, shit, there's Carl Lewis, and so yeah, I guess I have, man. I mean, sightings, just randomly, man. But yeah, you would. It's not. It's definitely not a common occurrence, man. You know.
No, it's not. And especially, you think it in your head, you're like, when I see these people, I'm going to say this or that. But I guess one of the guys that I actually did, and he does his pizza reviews, is the Dave Portnoy, El Prez, of
Oh,
president of Barstool Sports. He goes all around the country, but mostly like in New Jersey, New York, doing these. And I was driving my car on this main road, and I see a guy walking in this city, and he's getting filmed. And I'm like, there's only one guy, and he was eating pizza. There's only one guy who does this crap, and I did it a little. I'm like, it's not me, it's obviously him. So I literally like pull down 3 streets away, illegally park. Because I'm like thinking to myself, like, this is the only time I'm gonna be able to see this guy. So I like illegally park. I'm like, if I get a ticket for $20, I don't care. I'll freaking pay it. I literally sprint and I run up to him. It takes me like 5 minutes. And the funniest thing is he's like, I was out of breath because I was not in good shape. He's like, man, are you okay? Like, he's like, no, hold, before I even said anything, I was like out of breath. I was like, Dave, big fan, like whatever, love Barstool Sports. But yeah, I said, you think you're gonna like say all these things to these people, and I was like,
yeah.
I only said like the smallest compliments, but I thought I was gonna be able to say like everything about Barstool Sports, and maybe ask him for a job. But it was kind of like starstruck. I was like, oh my god, this is the $100 million Barstool Sports founder.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you just freeze, huh? You just kind of like, you go to sporting events, Max, Dodger games and Laker games. Yeah, occasionally, obviously, you're going to see, that's different. I think you're going to see some people there, and I have, every time you go, you see someone. But yeah, again, in everyday life, who's someone on your podcast, Max, that you would maybe, who's a guest that you'd like to have on, man, that you haven't had on yet?
um, I would say like some bigger people that are definitely out of my reach at the moment. I got to keep grinding on the street interview thing and on the page. There's a
Yeah.
guy, he runs Bro Science Life, this YouTube channel, Mike Tornabene. He's actually on the Real Bros of Simi Valley, but he's like this a New Jersey, New York guy, but very funny. I'm trying to think who else. I
Yeah.
really think like I'm not really so much into. I guess there are celebrities that I like. Like I'm a big Marvel guy, but really like Jersey influencers. I mean, listen, I'd love to have one of the cast members of the Jersey Shore on.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think my followers would love that because like a lot of them aren't even from Jersey, but you know, I
Yeah.
would still like to have them on.
So who's that was? Was it Snooky or something?
Yeah, Snooki, Jay Wow, Angelina. the thing is, people, Jersey people, we hate them all, but we know all their names and we know everything about them. Like we're like, oh, they suck. They're not actually Jersey, but we know Mike the Situation, Vinny, Paulie.
Ah, that's funny, man. They're not actually natives of New Jersey.
There a lot of only like two of them were. The other ones were like from New York, and that's just a big thing in New Jersey. And that's a term that I'll tell you is Bennies, which just stands for like North Jersey towns.
Mhm.
But during the summer, a lot of New Yorkers come down to the Jersey Shore as like tourists, and they basically just cause a lot of traffic, a lot of noise, and just make everything very crowded. So a lot of the locals don't like that. So that was part of the Jersey Shore show. But listen, to be honest with you, like I'm a local, and to an extent, I don't like it. But I realize, like, the amount of business and money these people bring down to these
Oh,
places is crazy. So
absolutely, man. I never got into that show, brother. I no particular reason. I just never got into it. Yeah, like, but even I know some of the characters. I mean, who's the guy with the really straight hair? I mean,
Paulie
just
D,
Pauly D.
DJ,
That's
yeah, DJ Paulie D. Hey, listen, I've seen him as well. He's a DJ, so I've seen him play live, and
yeah,
you're here for it. They're putting Jersey on the map anyway, for good or bad,
for
mostly
sure.
bad.
Hey, man, as a podcaster, man, I'm always curious. How do you go about booking your guests, man? Is there a particular method? Is it mainly Instagram, social media? How do you
Yeah,
get your guests?
it's mostly Instagram, and I usually have done two a month and on a weekend day. But doing it in person, is always tough because people are just so busy. So I'll usually tell them, I go for an hour, like tonight. We'll go, we'll shoot it, take some pictures, but it's usually, it's kind of free press for them. So, I edit everything. I take the time, and all they really got to do is one, show up that day, film. And then, when I release, I just kindly ask them to post some of the stuff to their story to help market it. And that's kind of it. But other than that, I'm doing all the work for it. Same thing with my producer. So yeah, it's usually pretty easy, but it's mostly through Instagram DMs.
Yeah, right. DMs. I find that I don't know if you utilize the audio DM by any
You do,
chance.
man. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love you for that.
I love that, man. I think it's. I learned that from another gentleman, podcaster, Aaron Patton, and big shout out to him. He was one of my kind of indirect mentors when I first got started, and I was listening to his podcast a lot. New Age Influencers, by the way, it's called, and I picked up a lot of tactics from him, man, and just good stuff, man. He's a real successful dude, and but yeah, that's one way I like to, because the curiosity factor comes into play on the audio DM. 9 times out of 10, people they're gonna want, okay, what's this? What's someone left me a message, and so they're gonna play that message, so that's kind of it's really effective for me. It's been really effective, man, and so yeah, the DM for you, huh? It's been so pretty much the same thing,
It is. I mean, like especially with the following on Monmouth County memes, which I gotta say, man, the biggest thing, because I just grew 7,000 in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, is I never use Instagram Reels, and
Mm,
those damn things have just are incredible. And I'm really like I'm almost living by them. I stopped posting actual posts. I haven't done video posts like over a minute. I just post reels and I actually just did a regular one tonight, and it's doing all right. But I have a reel. I mean, it's at 50,000 likes and 2.1 million views. I'm like, why have I not been doing this for all this
holy
time?
which page is this on, Max?
This is on Monmouth County memes. So, dude, I'm doing that for the new street interview show, because all it takes, like when you do a post, it mainly, Instagram has the explore page, but it's really not like TikTok, where TikTok sends your stuff out like crazy. But Reels is basically the direct competition of TikTok. So Reels, man, they send this out to everyone on Instagram, and it can be seen by just about anyone, and like they can go viral. So it
Yeah.
is I'm really going heavy into that because I didn't before.
Absolutely, man. And Reels is interesting, man. I don't know if it's on a different algorithm or what, but
Oh, it's completely is. It's a
it
different
is, right?
algorithm than post, because post is mostly seen, I would say, like by your followers, but reels, they push it out to everyone.
Got it. That's okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, man. What's your highest viewed reel you mentioned? You just mentioned
Yeah, so real, let me just check. I'm on here right now.
that's
So
cool, man.
yeah, I got, and the thing, it's 2.2 million views. The thing is with those as well, like I find the videos on TikTok, and basically they're not my videos. I obviously tag the creator, but you know, I spend
Oh,
hours making memes and making posts, and it'll get 2 to 4 thousand likes, whatever. But
mm-hmm.
then these reels, I just go on TikTok, and within 5 minutes, not even, I have a cool, relatable jersey video. I post it on the account, tag the creator, and it gets 50,000 likes. And I'm just sitting here like, why am I wasting my time making content when I could just literally, and the creators love it too. They're like, hey, tag me. And I'm like, I will. Great video. Like, that's awesome. Great jersey. If you make anything else, please send it to me.
Ah,
So,
yeah. You know what, man? I have to get on TikTok, man. But it's just like, damn, one more social media app I got to deal with, and because yeah, like you just mentioned, and it's crazy, man. You get a lot of different. You got I mean, shitload of views.
well, do you
Um,
do you feel that yourself? I was because there's so many apps that you got to post to, that it's one thing, it's hard enough making this stuff, but do you dislike having to push it out and market it to YouTube, all the other Spotify and
you mean like the
like
specifically videos?
video and audio? I just feel
Mm.
like marketing is is one of the biggest pains. Like I feel like once I get to that point, I'm done, but then I'm like, oh my God.
I hear you, Max. No, you know what, man? I honestly enjoy the marketing aspect too, man.
Nice.
About this. Yeah, I love seeing what happens. That prepping the content, posting it, and then putting it out there, man. And it's interesting though. Sometimes I'll post something, it's like, no, I mean, this is probably not going to get many views, and then it does a 180 on me, and you're like, oh damn, people took to this, like, and then the videos that you think are, oh, this is good, it does the opposite, right? It's
Yeah.
it's just funny how it works, man. That's why you got to be consistent, just keep posting, right? As you
But
know.
that's what in YouTube, that's what I hear is like the biggest tip that everyone gives, for getting big on YouTube, is consistency, because YouTube will kind of understand, they'll get an understanding of your page's upload schedule. So that's what all these big million subscriber people say, is that you pick a day, post then. Doesn't have to be every day, you don't, but if it's once a week, do once a week at that time. And it's
Mm.
good because I've had issues in the past. Like I've always wanted to do YouTube, and things, but I've never been able to stay consistent. Maybe, because I'll just give up or something. But if you have a day where you're like, listen, I have to edit it by Friday, it's gonna be out by Monday. So that's what I'm really trying to do with this interview show, and I'm hoping it's I'm gonna stick myself to that, or so.
Yeah, no, but no, I hear you though, Max. It can become a little tedious, posting to YouTube, posting to, but I definitely enjoy prepping and getting the stuff out there, man. I want to touch on your new show that you just I think you just got one episode out, correct?
Yeah, our first episode is officially out. Yep.
Congratulations, man. It's don't hold on. I want to announce it. Gosh darn it! Where the heck did I put it? It's Tell us the name of the title of your new show, man. The street interview show.
Yep. It's Hey, How You Doing show.
Hey, how you doing, man? Love it. And that's indicative of New Jersey, also, right?
It
That
is,
term. How
because
you doing?
how you say, like, hey, how you doing? Like it's a very Italian type thing, where that's where I came up with it.
Yeah. And so tell us about that, man. What's up with this show and what inspired it?
Yeah,
All
I
the good
mean, as
stuff.
far as, I love podcasting, and I really, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm doing it less now, but I really see that short form content, and I don't know if you see this as well, but it's easier to get people hooked on it, because even myself, I'm so busy that my friends will send me a podcast they make, but unless I'm driving somewhere or I'm working out, it's really hard for me to sit down for an hour and listen to something. There are times when I say like, oh, listen, I'm going to work today and I have a far drive, like I'm going to throw on this podcast. But these new street interviews, man, it's reels, which are 30 seconds long. You could watch 100 of those. The episode itself is going to be between like 4 to 8 minutes, and it was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So the first episode was kind of me talking to people about why they love beer at the Central Jersey Beer Fest. It was really funny. And it came out awesome. I'm getting good feedback. And the next episode, I went to this horse race last weekend, which was just insane. It was just like in a field in New Jersey, and people just drink and have fun and tailgate, and that was awesome.
Yeah, and of course, I want to also mention your outfit that you wear. It's kind of catchy, right? Can you describe that for us?
It's a newspaper suit, because I was thinking to myself, like when I was thinking, because like you see me, because I usually wear a turtleneck when I podcast as well. Like I usually like to wear something to stand out, as we talked about earlier. And I found it online, and people a lot of people ask me if it's like a custom suit. Like, no, I found it on like Google. I literally just typed in newspaper suit. I actually got it like tailored better to me because it was a bit wider. And like I said, it does its job where I wear this to events, and I'm holding my microphone, which, hold on, let me show it to you. I'll bring
it. That's funny.
Okay, back. Yeah, so this is my microphone. It has like a Flagstaff as well.
Yeah.
The Hey, How You Doing show on it. So I go up to people and I speak to them. And it's dude, it's a cool thing. It brings me out to these events that I usually wouldn't normally go to, not because I wouldn't want to. Like now I'm like, I want to go to that beer festival next year. I told my friends, like, we're buying tickets already. But yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely influencers. There's a few other things like it online. Channel 5 News, which is all gas, no brakes. This guy Andrew, he's in LA now. Excuse Me What Show is another one. There's one in New York. What is it? Side Talk New York. So there's a bunch of these around, but it doesn't mean that I can't do this in New Jersey, because to be honest with you, there's no one doing this in New Jersey right now. So
Max, so you're telling me everything right now, and you're talking to me, and as you're speaking, bro, like my wheels are just spinning right now. Like, oh shit, man, that's a great idea, man.
You should do it, man.
I know, man. Gosh, nobody's really doing that. Right? I'm gonna keep it hush, man. But, no, yeah, and see, I knew it. And then you mentioned the other thing about you always like to wear something that stands out, the turtleneck, and that's good stuff, man.
That's even like you said, you're married. I'm a single guy, so there's like a few books that I've read about like even being around females, and it's a thing called peacocking, where you like to stand out. You always try to wear one thing. It could be your shoes, socks, a shirt, a hat, but you wear one thing that will catch people's eyes. And that was kind of me, well, doubly with the suit and the Crocs, so it helps.
Oh, it's good stuff, man. I love it. But that's what you have to do, man, to stand out. Because there's over 1 million podcasts out there and influencers, et cetera, et cetera. You have to do what you have to do to set yourself apart, man. But
it's crazy that the stuff that it's brought me. I mean, without starting this podcast, I wouldn't be talking to you, someone who's across the country, who we have no personal relationship with. We wouldn't even know each other exist, but because of podcasting, we're now connected and able to share each other's stuff and and it's incredible. You can't make this stuff up.
100%, man. That's a great point you bring up, man, because gosh, you hit it on the head. There's so many people I've met, I mean, even in the world, throughout the world, it's amazing, man. This podcast journey, man. And speaking of podcasting, Max, somebody comes up to you, hey, Max, I want to start a podcast. What I want to get into this world. What do you tell that person, man?
Yeah, I generally say that, you don't need to spend a crazy lot of money to start.
Yeah.
that's even with YouTube, where you could start using your phone for audio. I had a lot of this stuff beforehand because, like I said, I used to make videos and I have spent a lot of money to make it better. But I'm like, I work full time and I have the money. But for people that just want to start out, use regular equipment. See if you even like it, because you don't want to spend all this money. And if you're not a fan of it, then it's going to suck. But if you just start out using your phone, you could do that for video and audio. You can get a cheaper recorder, something that plugs into your computer. You don't need like an XLR. Just start out there. And additionally, if you make mistakes, that's fine. I messed up so many times, audio, video, lighting is big. Like that's another thing, that I had to learn later on. So yeah, just don't be so hard on yourself. It's for the long run, and I'm still learning 2 years in.
Oh yeah, man. All that is great, man. I mean, I literally started on my iPhone, yeah, on
Yeah.
Anchor, and she's just reading from a script and doing all that. But it's amazing how I'm almost 3 years in January. It'll be 3 years, and
Wow,
it's just,
congratulations.
thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's been great, man. It's really cool getting to meet individuals such as yourself who are inspirational, and that's what I bring. That's the essence of my podcast, brother. Is bringing on individuals who are inspiring, the human spirit, or putting themselves out there, doing cool stuff. They're passionate, they're cool, they're down to earth, but yet they have a strong desire to be successful and whatever they're doing. So, but yeah, man, that's good. That's good advice for the aspiring podcaster, man. What is a little known fact about you, Max?
Like something not many people know.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I mean, shit. Are you scared of the dark or something? Or I don't know. Something interesting. I don't know if you have something like that.
Huh. That's how I know it's a good question. Like, because I'm really been asked that ever. Oh yeah, you got me.
Do you eat?
I'm trying to think, because now I live much more of a public life now that I'm doing stuff on social media.
Yeah, right. Do you like anchovies or something like that? I don't know.
I hate ketchup. I guess this is one. My mom, like, she hates it, so I kind of was never around it as a kid, and people think that's weird about me. That I'm not like, my mom won't eat if it's on the table, but me, if it's like, I just don't like it on food. But she's like crazy about it. Like we have to go to another restaurant if it's on our table.
Not even on ketchup. I mean, on French fries, huh? Nothing like that.
No, I'm a big ranch guy and honey mustard. So I'll do like honey mustard on French fries and then ranch on chicken. But
okay, yeah. I mix it up with some honey mustard and ranch too.
nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt, man. What brings calm to your stress, Max? What do you do to kind of decompress, recharge? How do you calm yourself down, man?
Yeah, I think I like you watching YouTube, some Netflix shows, sports. Generally, I don't do much of that until the end of the day. And even like with me going out, like I don't want to like go out and drink and celebrate until I get the things I need done.
Yeah.
So as far as like editing and things, posting content to the pages, because between like the podcast, the meme page, now this new Hey How You Doing show, like there's stuff outside of my actual job that I'm at during the day that, like, when I get home, some of my buddies will be like, hey, let's go get a drink tonight, let's go bowling and have fun. And I'm like, guys, listen, I got to do this first. And then maybe at 8 o'clock. So afterwards, I guess I chill out. But I guess what keeps me most sane is knowing that I'm doing what I have to do. I'm a little mental with it, but I guess, listen, it's work to a certain extent, with Monmouth County memes. So as long as it doesn't make me go completely crazy.
Yeah, I hear you, man. No, it's definitely. You mentioned you're single, right?
Say that again.
You mentioned that you're single.
I am. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
for like 2.5. It's been for like 2.5 years now, man. It's been awesome. And my favorite story. This is like no shade on my ex. My ex, when I started Monmouth County Memes,
what's her
I
name?
literally think like we're
I'm
like
kidding.
yeah, no, literally, no, screw her. Whatever. No, she's a nice girl. But she said to me when I started, she was like, "That's the dumbest thing ever." Like, was talking smack about it. And I'm one of those people, like, when you tell me not to do something, I just want to do it more. So I looked at her and I was like, "This isn't dumb, okay? Like, I'm gonna do this." And then, 41,000 people later, and it's probably. And I literally even have. I mean, I don't know. I could show it. I have an MCM tattoo on my leg that I got.
Oh
I'll show
shit.
it. Let me see if I can lift this up.
Oh, there it is. I see
Oh,
it.
it's behind this mic. Let me see
Yeah.
that. I just got that. I just got
Oh,
another one right here. I can't even see that as
okay.
well. So
Wow.
yeah, I definitely like tattoos and stuff. I don't. Do you have any?
No, I don't have any, man. It was never my thing. I have nothing against them. I just never got them, man. My son, he's 19 years old. He has a
Nice,
shitload, man, and
cool.
he's the opposite of me.
They
But
hurt. They
is that
hurt,
right?
man. I didn't know they would hurt that bad from when I was getting them.
That's what I hear, man. I hear, but then I hear that you get one, it's like addictive or something, and you want to get another one. It's
Well,
like,
I got this past one. The MCM one was my first. It was this past summer. And then immediately after, I mean, for like weeks, you're like, that hurt. I don't want to do that again. And then this one, and the worst part, like it's on the back of your leg too, like it wraps around. So like it's a really sensitive spot. So that didn't feel so good, to be honest.
wow, man. Yeah, it wraps around your entire leg, huh?
It does. So the MCM one was just on the front, but the other one is like this wave design. And additionally, I didn't have to have him shade it in, but I'm
Uh,
just an idiot that said he should shade it in, and that made it like 4.5 hours. And just the whole time, I'm like holding on to the chair, and
yeah.
yeah,
Oh man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, but here's another question, man. Before we
cool.
wrap things up, Max, I like to ask my guests this particular question because it's cool. It's a fun question. We're three to five individuals, man, who they could be, you could know them or not. They could be celebrities or alive or passed on, who have influenced you, who have been um, yeah, influential in your life, man, as a person, as a performer, as overall, who you would love to sit down with, man, have dinner with, and pick their brain, man. Who are some of those individuals?
So before, I would have to say starting out would probably be Cody Ko, the YouTuber.
Mm,
He's like my favorite YouTuber. He's part of the Tiny Meat Gang music group collective. Um, the Nelk Boys, I see they're extremely popular. I'd like to sit down with Kyle, talking to them. It's mostly influencers because they're kind of like that is my dream, is to keep grinding and get there one day.
mm.
Uh, Dave
Tiny Meat.
Portnoy. Yeah, Dave
Okay.
Portnoy is definitely up there. He started a social media brand. It just became huge. So that's three.
Mm.
This might be controversial, not really controversial, but the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake, because no
Oh,
matter how many people want to hate those guys, I mean,
yeah.
listen, they've been able to stay relevant for this entire time. When Vine died off, they went to YouTube, and they're
Hmm.
still one of the biggest things on the internet. And
Yeah,
for
big podcast, impulsive, and
yeah, listen, Impulsive is amazing. That was one thing where a lot, like I never really was into Logan's YouTube videos, and then you can't bullshit like with YouTube videos. They're all cut up, and you could, like, if you screw up. But on a podcast like us talking, I mean, there's no this hour-long conversation. If we're not fluid, it's just gonna suck. But
right.
with him, it showed a really intellectual side of him after all the stuff happened, where he kind of messed up filming the guy in the Suicide Forest. So that was great. And then the last one, hmm, I I'm trying to think. I feel like I can't pick all people like that.
Bruce Springsteen.
Probably Robert
No.
Downey Jr. I'll throw him on.
Oh,
Yeah, because
oh,
that guy had like a crazy comeback where he was found with like drugs in
yeah.
Vegas 20 years ago, and then you know in 2008, he got Iron Man and Tropic Thunder and just turned his family life away. He's sober. So,
Oh man, that guy is so good, man. You think back at all the '80s movies. I don't know how old you are. Those '80s classics, man. Less Than Zero.
yeah,
Gosh,
Back to School, he was in with
Back to
Rodney
School.
Dangerfield.
Absolutely, man. Back to School. Shit, a lot. Those are two great ones, of course, man. But I'm missing. Which one am I missing? Gosh darn it.
Yeah, one of his main ones, and I'm
Why am I? Oh, he was in Weird Science. Back in the
yes,
day. He wasn't the main guy, but he was definitely. Yeah, he's just amazing, bro. But yeah, that's a great one, man. That's a great list. You know. But yeah, Max, I want to continue to follow you, man. Continue to collaborate with you, man. Before we go, where can the good people find you? Where plug your social media, everything, bro.
sure. So Monmouth County Memes is basically the parent brand to all this. It's at Monmouth County Memes with a Z because the S was already taken. So now I just went with the Z. The podcast is the MCM podcast. Like I said, I'm still going to be doing that. It's definitely going to be more sparingly. But the main focus right now is it's at Hey How You Doing show. It's New Jersey's newest street interview show. And there's going to be new episodes every week with reels, TikToks, stories, things like that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, my personal, you'll find by following all the other stuff. So if that's going to be your way. If you really want to find my personal, you could find it through those. So
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm looking forward. Like I said, following your content, man. See how far you go with the Hey, how you doing? Street interview show, and it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm definitely, watch not only as a fan, but as a a student, man, and pick up tips from you and
I can't
strategies.
wait to see you start doing it, man. Like I say, they could be funny.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. You know what? One thing I've been doing is getting out in different events to do spot interviews. Short 3 to 5 minute interviews, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be at a thing on Friday. But you mentioned that short form content, man. And that's people I think really like that, man. It's quick. In this day and age, people want to see, they want to be entertained quickly, right? Instant gratification, blah blah blah. But
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
and it's that thing where I think I don't have enough time to watch like an hour long podcast. Let me just go on TikTok. But then I realized that I've been swiping through TikTok for an hour. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same time, but it's just I'm consuming much more content and it's just a variety of it. So
exactly.
that's the thought. I mean, listen, no one does it better than the JRE, Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, he's one of the only guys where I will watch all 3.5 hours of him talking, but not everyone is him. And I have to
No.
understand that where, to be honest, I wouldn't watch me for 3.5 hours. So I wouldn't want to. So why would someone else?
I feel you, man. I feel you. Those are great points, man. I think I got to do that. I got to break down and do the TikTok thing, give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. And the
Yeah.
cool thing is you can transfer the TikTok video to Instagram, right? And that's
You
kind of
can.
cool.
The one thing I'll tell you is though that when you bring the video to Instagram, don't TikTok, once you export the video, it has the TikTok filter on it. It'll literally say TikTok on it. Instagram doesn't like that very much. So if you could just import the original video, or there's some websites where you could put a TikTok video, the link in, and it'll take the TikTok filter off. It's just Instagram's weird like that. And that's why this is just me from doing it, that when I've been posting reels, if I post a reel to Instagram that has the TikTok logo, it
Uh-huh.
won't push it out. It's
Mm.
weird, but listen, it's good that I'm hoping I'm helping you and helping others, just because I've learned that through my trial and error. And I literally Googled it. And it's like, yeah, Instagram, because they're a competitor of TikTok, and it makes sense. Like they don't want TikTok's recycled goods. You could take a TikTok video, just make sure it doesn't have that TikTok thing. You could crop it out, but like I said, there's sites where it'll take that off for you, like SnapTik.
Gotcha, man. That's why you're on this podcast, Max. Because you
Yeah,
know your
you
shit.
guys learn through all my mistakes.
I appreciate it, brother, man. Hey, man, once again, I thank you so much for taking some time to spend with us here on Profile Pot TV with Double A, man. You're always welcome back, man. Looking forward to more collaborations with you, man. And like I said, I'm going to keep following your progress, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. As soon as this is done, man, just send it to me, and I can't wait to have my followers check it out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna do that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have Max Sobrano. Go check him out. Monmouth County Memes, Monmouth County podcast. You will not be disappointed, man. He's funny, he's engaging, he's intriguing, all that good stuff. Because if he wasn't any of that, he would not be here. So go check him out, man. And yeah, once again, man, thank you so much for being here with us, brother.
Problem. It's been a pleasure. It's been an awesome hour. Wish it was longer.
Right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Double A, thanking you for being here wherever you're tuning in from. If you're on Roku, if you're on any of the audio platforms, YouTube, Spotify, if you're on Social Nostra, Instagram, TV, thank you so much for being here. And we will be back next week. Once again, don't forget to leave me a rate and review on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast, all that good stuff. You guys know the deal, man. So we will be back next week. For Max Sobrano, I'm Double A, and always reminding you to take it easy.
Awesome.